Hello and welcome to Vlogmas Day 4, and today I'm going to talk about something, again, not so Christmassy, but a little bit of my life and something I noticed quite recently, and, well, not necessarily recently, but something happened and it made me notice it quite massively, and just like what's been going on basically. So as a lot of you will probably know, this time last year I was still employed full-time, working full-time. I left college when I was 18 and then went on and got a job straight away. I decided to defer my fashion degree and then get rid of the offer, and then fell in love with like working in healthcare and decided to do a nursing degree. Long story, there's more about that in other videos. So basically, yeah, a year ago I was working full-time. Then in January of this year, so like nearly a year ago now, I went to bank staff, where I work the shifts that I want to work. It's like a 0-hour contract, but generally it's healthcare. We're so short staffed, I could just pick I could pick whichever shifts I wanted to work, and no, like at least 50% of the time, if I gave them 3 shifts, they could give me like 2 of the ones I wanted. And when I was in my access, even though I was in college like 3-4 days a week, they wouldn't always be 4 days, and I was still probably working like 15 to 20 hours a week, whereas at the moment that's probably what I'm working monthly. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that difference, and that difference of like going from okay, it wasn't like a great wage, but a really steady income, and living at home with your parents and not having to pay much rent, not having a lot to really spend that money on, to becoming a student where I'm living out. So for a lot of mature students, they generally like either are in a position where they can move out fully and go to uni, like, but they'll have like a flat, they won't live in halls, or they are going to their local university and staying at home because they've got kids or whatever. So for me, I am in this weird age bracket where, because I was still technically living with my parents' income affects my maintenance zone. However, I also was not like 18 or 19 and straight out of college and used to having like little to no money, because let's be honest, when you're at college, even though if you've got a part-time job, you're not working more than 10 hours a week, so you're not very used to having a lot of money. So it's like a massive kind of culture shock, I think, and I've actually adjusted a lot better than I thought I would do, but there was something really big. So I kept my car even though I was moving to London. I live at home with my parents, and my mum runs it around the block or to like run an errand or something every now and again to make sure it doesn't die. But that's at home with my parents, and I came to uni without my car. However, that just because it's not where I live, I still have to pay tax and insurance and an MOT and a service. So my service I pay monthly, so I pay £20 a month, I think, and it goes down to like 15 next year, and then at the end of the year they'll just do my service for me. However, like, I bought my car in December, so all of this is due in the same month. It's all due in December when you've got Christmas as well. It's like, it's a lot of money. I also paid my insurance last year up front, so I don't have to worry about insurance coming out my bank every month, and I'm going to hopefully do that again this year. I've got a little bit of savings put aside for that. My MOT I've got to pay for in the next couple of weeks, and also my car tax was due. So my car tax actually ran out on the 30th of November, so I had to pay it for December. And I remember, like, this time last year, I can't remember if I was giving someone a lift or if I was having a lift. I think I was probably giving someone a lift, and we were joking. Yeah, I was giving someone a lift home and we were joking about paying like car tax, and I was like, oh yeah, mine just came through a couple of weeks ago. It was like £30 a year, which had gone up because it was only 20 the year before, and they offered to, whether I wanted to pay it monthly or like all in one go, and I joked about how I could like pay it monthly, and like, oh, that's like £2 a month. And like, we were just joking about it, and obviously I paid the £30 to get out of the way. And then that bill came again this year, and I sat there and I worked it out, and I just thought, I can technically afford to pay this all in one go, but £30 out of my bank account right now is a lot of money. It's like probably nearly 2 weeks worth of food shopping for me, and I've got Christmas presents, I've got an MOT to pay for as well. Like, it seems like a lot of money, whereas if I pay it monthly, it's only £1.50 extra throughout the whole year that I have to pay. So I decided to sit there and pay my £30 tax bill this wasn't like a snap decision. I'd had this conversation with my mum, like thought about it for about a week or two, and decided actually, yeah, I'm going to pay my £30 tax bill by direct debit and pay £2.65 a month instead of £30 all in one go. And like, to me, a year ago, that seems ridiculous. Like, honestly, £30, what is that? Like 4 hours of work? Like, that seems ridiculous to pay that much over a year. But to me now, £30 out of my bank account is a big chunk. I'm like, if £30 just disappeared out of my bank account, I'd be like, where's it gone? I'm trying to work out why it gone out. Whereas last year it was like no big deal. Whereas £2.65 a month, like I'm not gonna notice that as much. And like, it's just a really big shock to how my life has changed since I've come to uni. Like, I mentioned this in my food video where I was like, yeah, I can't just afford to go and get a cup of coffee whenever I want. Like, yeah, I'll go out with some friends and we'll have a cuppa and like we'll chat and stuff. I couldn't just do that like 3 or 4 times a week, just grab a cup of coffee. And just how that's changed. And so I think it's just a weird situation. I've talked to other mature students who have come from like working full time to like coming back and like being a student, but a lot of those, because they're older and live on their own, have a much higher income of maintenance loan than I do. So I feel like there's obviously other people out there like me who have worked and then gone back to uni and the income rate is based on what their parents earn because they're still technically living at home and stuff like that. And actually you have to like support yourself for 3 years before the government will let you not be attached to your parents for your uni loan. So I'd have had to move out, live on my own for 3 years and then go to uni to not be affiliated with my parents in terms of how much loan I get, which by the way, government, is really messed up, like really messed up, because there's no guarantee a parent is going to help their child out with their uni. My parents are great and they do, but not everyone's is. And so yeah, it was just, it kind of really hit me, and I had a little bit of like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Like, when I can't, it's not like I couldn't afford it, it's like where I don't want to, like, paying a £30 tax bill feels like a big deal to me. Like, where is that coming from? I've got my insurance in a couple of weeks. That is going to kill me because that is going to be like in the hundreds, whereas this was like £30. But for some reason it felt like such a big deal I didn't want to pay it all in one go. And like, yeah, it's just such a weird situation. Like, going from full-time work to full-time student is so different. And when you're on an access course or a college course, although you're full-time, you're probably not working, you're probably doing, I think, like 3 days a week, 2 days a week, maybe 4 days a week. But when I was doing 4 days a week, 2 of those were half days that I could pick up an afternoon shift at work. Like, it wasn't a big deal. Whereas now, even though I'm probably, while I'm at uni, not working many more hours, I'm spending more time travelling. I no longer have the freedom just to jump in my car and go to where I would be working. And I also like don't have the same amount of time, like in terms of like essay writing and stuff. It's much higher and much more time I'm spending doing that. And like, it's like little things, because now I'm living on my own, I can't just come home and like at a reasonable time my mum cooked dinner, because I had to cook the dinner. And it's just so different from being full-time work. I think one of the other massive things I noticed was when I went back to Access, and like especially now, it's that I can go to uni or go to placement and come home and then I still have work to do. When you're working full-time, you walk out of that door, you block their number if you're on annual leave, because they will call you and ask you to come in, but you walk out of that door and you are free. Like, not free in that kind of sense, but you don't have coursework, you don't have research, you don't have revision, you don't have stuff to do. Like, I still, although I'm technically on placement right now, I still go to uni 1 day a week, and it's like, I don't have to, like, I can be on placement and they're, oh, you got tomorrow off. Like, yeah, but I've got a 9 to 5 at uni, so I've not really got tomorrow off. I'm still doing like 4 days this week. And it's just so different, like, to be in that position. I think that's one of the massive things you notice when you go back to education. That A, it's quite hard to get back into the swing of things, and B, you no longer have the time like that you used to. And C, your money, like financially, it's hit me. Like, yes, I'm getting a loan from the government, but it doesn't cover, it's not half of what I was earning when I was working full time, and I wasn't really paying rent when I was working full time. So managing my money has been like massively more important to me now than ever before in my life. So this video has turned out really long. I didn't want it to, but there we go. I just thought I'd give you like a little what it's actually like to go from full-time work to full-time student, living away from home, totally different environment, totally different things going on in my life, and I just thought I'd do a quick video on it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed if you made it to the end, and I hopefully will see you tomorrow. Bye!